Welcome to the finals of the Grand Prix Masters from Madison Square Garden in New York. And good afternoon, I'm Pat Summerall with our Davis Cup captain, Tony Travert. And I guess you could say it's youth against experience. You could say it's quickness against finesse. I don't know how you'd say it, but it's 35-year-old Arthur Ashe against 19-year-old John McEnroe.
It was not a surprise, I don't think, Pat, that McEnroe got to the finals, but a lot of people were surprised that Arthur Ashe has gotten this far. He started this year about 257th on the computer list because of hurt, injuries, and he has worked his way up and gotten to this final 8 and done some kind of a job.
And one of the reasons he got there is because of the absence of Bjorn Borg and Guillermo Vilas. He finished 10th.
That's correct.
They moved him up. Borg, of course, chose not to appear, so did Vilas. Connors was here, but had to withdraw because of an injury in a match against John McEnroe, and he's accomplished a lot, too.
Well, John has had a phenomenal year. He left Stanford in June and got on the circuit. He made the final 8 and has not lost a match, played exceedingly well. And as a matter of fact, last Wednesday night, in his first match of this competition, he defeated Arthur Ashe very easily, 6-3, 6-1, the only time they had played. But I think it's only fair to say also that Arthur Ashe had been attending day-long meetings of the Pro Council representing the players, so I think it'll be a different Arthur Ashe out here today.
Tony, a lot of people, a lot of observers yesterday, when it was determined that Ashe and McEnroe would be in the finals, just sort of shook their heads and said, well, Arthur doesn't have a chance. But he said that he can be had just like anybody else, and Arthur does have some tools in which to attack McEnroe.
I think there's no question that this match will go as the serves go, because both rely heavily on the serve. Arthur will be attacking all he can. McEnroe's left-handed serve can be a problem for Ashe.
Both players are down on the court. Let's go down now and watch them warm up. I know. Yeah. McEnroe on the right side of your picture, and Arthur Ashe, of course, on the left. Wears glasses, has come back from an eye injury, worked his way a long way back, as Tony Travert was saying just a minute ago. He also had some heel problems. But regardless of all that, and regardless of what they say is a mature age of 35, Ashe is in the finals.
And Arthur Ashe, of course, tremendous experience, U.S. Open champion, Wimbledon champion. There is how he got here. After losing to McEnroe, he defeated Harold Solomon, won by default from Jimmy Connors, and then in an excellent match, defeated Brian Gottfried 6-3 in the third.
Tony, we were here early this morning. McEnroe was out practicing. Worked out a long time against Denny Ralston. Practiced some with his doubles partner, Peter Fleming. I did not see Ashe in the arena until now.
I have not seen him warm up, but I'm sure he did warm up some. Arthur said that at his age, he doesn't like to warm up real early and then cool back down because it's more difficult to get loosened up again. John McEnroe, in chatting with him prior to his warming up this morning, said, what do you think of my match yesterday? Did you see anything that I might have improved upon? And I felt that he ran through a few volleys, sort of stood up a little bit too high on some volleys, and in rallies didn't get the ball as deep as he might have. So those were thoughts that he was looking for, I think. And Arthur, in chatting with him, is just talking about in his match with Gottfried, he got into trouble a couple times on his own serve where he sort of lost his rhythm. And my suggestion there would be, if you feel you're losing your rhythm, spin a serve in a couple times, and then you'll get those in and you'll forget it and you'll be fine.
Right, of course, both players have played in Davis Cup. 4 years since you've been the Davis Cup captain. And so obviously you know a lot about their styles of play and what it is that goes wrong when it goes wrong, if indeed it does.
Well, I asked the players, Pat, if your serve goes off, what do you think it is? What problems do you face in your own game? And they say, well, if I toss my ball too low, I'll have service problems. Remind me to get the toss up. Or I won't look at the sitter volley, get a little careless, that kind of thing. And those are the reminders we try to suggest to them.
You mentioned before that in their careers, McEnroe's, of course, hasn't been that long. It's been highly successful, however. But they've only met once before, and that was in this tournament. And McEnroe made it look easy.
As I mentioned, Arthur came out of several days of very hectic meetings And that's not meant to be an excuse, but a way of explanation. And I think you will find a different Arthur Ashe out here this afternoon.
40, love.
I guess, as is so often the case, as an athlete gets older, some of his skills are dulled a little bit. They oftentimes get smarter. And I think that's the case with Ashe. He has mixed his game up much better than he used to. So Arthur Ashe holds his serve at love and leads in the first set, 1 game to none. The gentleman on the right of your screen is John McEnroe Sr., the proud father of that young man you see on the left. Mr. McEnroe is an attorney, represents son John.
John McEnroe.
Seems to be a little bit nervous right now, Pat.
After watching Arthur Ashe in that first game, which he won at love, he has cause perhaps to be concerned. McEnroe to serve at the far end. 15, love.
Arthur apparently has broken a string in his racket. As that left-handed serve came into his body, he hit the ball at the low part of the face of the racket, probably pinched off a piece of gut, and he has gone to racket number 2. No psychological effect or problem at all. They have plenty of rackets that they practice with or accustomed to.
John McEnroe was born in 1959. Arthur Ashe first played at Forest Hills in 1958.
Take another look, and you see that Arthur Ashe was standing well to the left towards the center of the court.
15,
Racket preparation is good here, and a little roll cross court, which could also end up being a topspin lob. Back to live action. It is 15:30. McEnroe waiting for more people to get to their seats. Now Ashe standing way over to the left to cut off the wide serve. Force McEnroe to try to hit that first serve up the middle. It's not where John really wants to hit it. He can hit it there, but it's not his preference. Oh, that's trouble. Not a bad idea, Pat, but if you don't get it lower than that, you don't have much chance. Let's watch and see where Ashe stands now. You see he's well away from that single sideline. McEnroe being a left-handed server, he's saying, you can beat me wide if you can't out the forehand. That's the other side of the coin, Pat. As a right-hander, you don't really like it when lefties serve that ball and curve it into you on the forehand side. So Arthur's going to have to really watch that ball if he wants to accept slice serves into the forehand all day long. McEnroe holds serve and gets even at 1-all.